So hello everybody, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball, and welcome to the qualification rounds and also the regular season draw of the Basketball Champions League. Great to see a live audience here today. How's everybody feeling? Are you guys feeling good? Let me hear you say, yeah. Feel the energy, feel the passion. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Great to have you with us. My name is Chris Brow. I have the honor to guide you through this session. And let me tell you, 52 clubs will start the 6th season of the Basketball Champions League, some of them in 2 months with the qualification round tournaments. And all of those teams, of course, have big hopes to be crowned in May and to lift this beautiful trophy you see here behind me. Now, 24 teams will debut in the qualification rounds next September, with 4 of them eventually joining the regular season and the 28 teams that already qualified. Now, with a minimum of 192 games, I think we can look forward to a fantastic season, an action-packed season with a lot of memories, a lot of stories, a lot of moments that you also can share, obviously, on social media. I'm not sure if everybody's aware that the Basketball Champions League is actually one of the most active and most popular sports competitions out there, especially on social media. And this is something you can also, once again, contribute to. But before we start dreaming, we got to get to work, and especially the teams got to get to work and, of course, know their European road, how their European road will be paved. And this question will be answered with today's draw ceremony. So as you can tell, it will be a morning filled with passion, filled with emotion, also 2 of Basketball Champions League's trademarks. So why don't we get a taste of what actually happened last season, only a few months ago. Here we go.
Basketball Champions League 2021 is back.
Some spectacular images indeed, and I don't know about you, but I'd rather change my shoes now and go out into court and shoot some hoops right away. I think we can all agree that this has been a special season, culminating with the Final 8 being organized in Russia in the city of Nizhny Novgorod, with Herrera San Pablo Burgos becoming the first ever back-to-back Basketball Champions League champions. And now it is time to start the draw, but let's first better understand how it all runs down. So here we go.
The Basketball Champions League is a pan-European competition where clubs participate following success in their domestic leagues. But how does it work? From the start of the qualification rounds, up to 204 games will be played over 9 months. 52 teams from 30 countries will compete. Out of those 52 teams, 28 will directly enter the regular season. The remaining 24 teams will compete in 4 qualification round tournaments and will be split into 6 pots for the purpose of the draw based on club and country ranking. Teams from pot 1 and 2 are seeded and will enter the tournament directly in the semi-final stage. Teams from Pot 5 will be drawn against teams from Pot 4, and teams from Pot 6 will be drawn against teams from Pot 3 until all quarterfinals are completed. Seeded teams from Pot 1 will be drawn against the winners from Pot 5 and Pot 4. Seeded teams from Pot 2 will be drawn against the winners from Pot 6 and Pot 3. The 8 winners will face each other in 4 final pairings, with the 4 qualification round tournament winners joining the 28 directly qualified teams, who will be divided into 4 pots for the purpose of the draw to complete the list of 32. Each team will be drawn and placed in the next available group until all groups are completed. Country protection applies. Each team plays the other teams in its group home and away. The first place teams in each group will qualify directly to the round of 16. The second and third place teams will participate in the play-ins. January sees the play-ins phase, where teams will face each other in a best-of-3 series in predetermined pairings, with the 8 winners joining the 8 already qualified teams in the round of 16. The teams in the round of 16 will be split in predetermined groups, 4 groups of 4 each. Each team plays the other teams in its group home and away. The 2 first-place teams in each group will qualify to the playoffs. Another draw in April will determine the quarterfinals pairings, where teams will face each other in a best-of-3 series, with the 4 winners qualifying to the pinnacle event of the competition to be held in May, when one team will make history and lift the Basketball Champions League trophy.
So very much looking forward to the season, and now it's time for the draw to begin. And for this, I'd like to welcome the CEO of the Basketball Champions League here on stage. Please welcome Mr. Patrick Cominhos.
Thank you, Chris, and a warm welcome from my side as well. After having conducted all of last season's draws virtually, it's our pleasure to welcome the participating clubs back into the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball here in Switzerland. This is both significant and important for us, as it gives us the opportunity to meet once again in person. But most significantly, it gives us hope. Hope that everything we have experienced during this totally unpredictable period will make us stronger towards the future. Hope that in the coming months we will be traveling and seeing each other more often. Hope that we will be able to enjoy great moments together filled with passion and excitement. It is with this sentiment that we approach the new season, starting from today's draw, where I will not be entirely alone on stage for this process. I will be joined by 2 young basketball players, highlighting a very important theme for the Basketball Champions League: the development of young players and young stars that will make the name for themselves in the Basketball Champions League. So please, welcome on stage Michel from the Swiss national team and Zach from Geneva. Welcome, and thank you for your assistance. Let's start with the qualification rounds draw now. 24 teams will compete for the remaining 4 regular season spots, so let's not waste time and start with the proceedings. 24 teams participating in 4 qualification round tournaments in September, comprising of 6 teams each. These 24 teams will therefore be split into 6 spots for the purpose of the draw, based on the BCL club and country ranking, with 1 team from each pot filling in a place in the bracket of each qualification round tournament. As already explained, top-seeded teams from pots 1 and 2 will enter the tournament directly in the semi-final stage, which means we are now ready to commence the proceedings by drawing the quarterfinals. I hope this is all clear. Teams from pot 5 will be drawn against teams from pot 4, and teams from pot 6 against teams from pot 3, until all the quarterfinal pairings are completed. So let's get into the action. Let's review the teams in pot 5 right here in front of Zach. They are DeLonghi Treviso from Italy, Hapoel Eilat from Israel, Juventus Utena from Lithuania, and Salon Vilpas from Finland. And also, let's review the teams in pot 4 in front of Michel. They are Kapfenberg Bulls from Austria, London Lions from Great Britain, Parma Perm from Russia, and UBT Cluj-Napoca from Romania. We are now ready to start with this part of the draw. We will again start with Zach picking up the first team from pot 5. Then we will proceed with Michel picking up their opponents from pot 4. This pair will appear on the bracket that you already have in front of you. We will fill the 4 pairs, P4 versus P5, at this stage of the draw. So, without further explanations, let's shuffle well, Zach, and let's pick the first team for this season's draws from pot 5. So, first team drawn this year is Salon Vilpas from Finland, a newcomer into the Basketball Champions League. Welcome. They come to us, of course, as champions of Finland, and let's find out who their opponent will be in the first quarterfinal. Their opponents will be Cluj-Napoca from Romania. Fourth participation in the qualification rounds for Cluj-Napoca. They're coming to us as champions of Romania, their 6th title. So we now have the first pair. You can see them already into the quarterfinals of qualification round tournament 1 on the top left of your screen. We will now move to the bottom left and proceed accordingly, starting with pot 5 once again. Zach, let's shuffle. Next team drawn is De Longhi Treviso from Italy, a newcomer into the Basketball Champions League. Benvenuto. And they're coming to us, of course, as 6th place finishers in the Italian league. Let's find out their opponents from pot 4. And they are the London Lions, representing the BBL and Great Britain in their 2nd participation into the qualification rounds of the Basketball Champions League. So we now have our 2nd pair at qualification round tournament 1, Treviso versus London Lions. We're halfway into these pots. Let's continue with pot 5 once again, Zach. Next team drawn is Juventus Utena from Lithuania. It's their 3rd participation into the Basketball Champions League. Previously, they joined us for the regular season. And let's find out their opponent from pot 4. It is the Kapfenberg Bulls from Austria. They're coming to us as 7-time champion overall in Austria, their 3rd participation into the qualification rounds. Now we have our quarterfinals almost completed. Let's see, from pot 5 at least. Last team to be drawn. Is indeed Hapoel Eilat from Israel. They are another newcomer into the Basketball Champions League, finishing in 4th place in the domestic league this last season. Their opponents should speak Russian. And indeed, it is Parma Perm, another newcomer into the competition. So this concludes the pairings of pot 5 versus pot 4. And we are now ready to move to the next stage of the draw, the pairs 6 and 3. So let's remind ourselves who the teams in pot 6 in front of Zach are. They are BC Kalev Kramo from Estonia, Prometei from the Ukraine, Split from Croatia, and Leiden from the Netherlands. And in pot 3, in front of Michel, we have their possible opponents, AEK Larnaca from Cyprus, Belfuse Monzeno from Belgium, Levski Lukoil from Bulgaria, and Sporting from Portugal. Same procedure. We start with you, Zach, shuffling well, pot 6, and the pairs will go into the equivalent qualification round tournaments, starting from tournament number 1 on the top left of your screen. And the first team drawn from pot 6 is Split from Croatia, a newcomer into the Basketball Champions League, but certainly not a newcomer to Europe. Illustrious history as Jugoplastica, of course, having won pretty much every title possible. So Split is the first team drawn. Let's find out their opponents from pot 3. and it is AEK Larnaca from Cyprus. They come to us as champions of Cyprus, their 5th title, while they enter the qualification round for the 3rd time. So that is our first pair. Let's continue. Pot 6 again. Next team drawn is Leiden, the champions of the Netherlands, another newcomer to the Basketball Champions League. And let's find out their opponents from pot 3. It will be Belfus-Monzenon from Belgium. They're coming to us as runners-up in the Belgian league, their 2nd participation into the qualification rounds of the Basketball Champions League. We are again halfway into this stage of the draw. Let's move ahead with the next team from pot 6. Thank you, Zach. It is Kalev Cramo from Estonia. They're coming to us, of course, as champions of Estonia, their 11th domestic league championship and their 2nd participation into the qualification round. So let's continue to find out who Kalev Cramo will face in the quarterfinals. And it will be Sporting from Portugal, 9 times champions of Portugal. Of course, they're coming to us as current champion in their 2nd participation to the Basketball Champions League. Last but not least, we have Prometei from the Ukraine, current champions of Ukraine and a newcomer to the Basketball Champions League. And their opponents, Michel, please. If we have done this well, it is indeed Levski Lukoil, the 16-time champion of Bulgaria, of course, current champions as well. So this has now concluded the quarterfinals of the qualification round tournaments. But this is not over. We now need to find their potential opponents into the semi-finals, which means we will start drawing the teams in pot 1 in front of Zachary, and then the teams in pot 2 in front of Michel. So in pot 1, we will have Bakken Bears from Denmark, Brose Bamberg from Germany, Le Mans from France, and Peristeri from Greece. And in pot 2 in front of Michel, we will have Fribourg Olympique, not far away here in Switzerland, Mornar Bar from Montenegro, Opava from the Czech Republic, and Smoky Minsk from Belarus. They will enter directly into the semi-final stage of each qualification round tournament. So let's begin, Zach, with pot 1. Shuffle well. So, first team drawn is Peristeri from Greece. 3rd participation into the Basketball Champions League. The previous 2 editions were in the regular season, and they will go into the semi-final, first semi-final of qualification round tournament 1. So we have that path covered. Let's see possible opponents in that qualification round tournament. So the team that will face Split or Larnaca will be Fribourg Olympique, our neighbors here in Switzerland. They're coming to us, of course, as champions of Switzerland, their 18th title for Fribourg, their 4th participation to the Basketball Champions League, already made it into the regular season 2018-2019. So we now have effectively the first qualification round tournament completed. Let's continue. Next team from pot 1 to go into qualification round tournament 2. The team that will face Treviso or the London Lions will be the Bakken Bears, a team that has been very loyal to the Basketball Champions League, 6th season with us in our competition, 19 times champions of Denmark. Of course, they're coming to us as champions, having also participated in last season's regular season. So let's find out the next team for qualification round tournament 2 from pot 2. The opponents of Leiden or Monzeno is Smoky Minsk from Belarus, 5th participation into the Basketball Champions League in the regular season last year, for the 12th time Belarusian champion, of course, champion in the last year as well. Let's continue from pot 1. So it is Brose Bamberg from Germany, 4th participation into the Basketball Champions League, all previous ones into the regular season, culminating with a participation in the Final Four in 2019 for the 9th-time German champion. So we are now ready to fill up qualification round tournament 3 with pot 2. The opponents of Kalev Cramo or Sporting Lisbon will be Mornar Bar. 3rd participation for Mornar. 2 previous ones were made into the regular season, and we're now ready to complete the last qualification round tournament. It is Le Mans from France, 5 times champion of France for Le Mans, previously with us 3 other regular seasons. And let's complete the qualification round tournaments draw with the last team from pot 2. That is correctly Opava, runner-up in the Czech Republic this year in their 2nd participation into the Basketball Champions League. So this, ladies and gentlemen, has concluded the qualification round tournament draws. If I will try to recap, we have qualification round tournament 1, 6 potential teams coming out of that tournament: Vilpas, Cluj-Napoca, Peristeri, Split, Larnaca, or Fribourg Olympique. So one of these 6 teams will make it into the regular season. From qualification round tournament 2, we will have one of the following: Treviso, London Lions, Bakken Bears, Leiden, Monzeno, or Smoky Minsk. From qualification tournament 3, we will have 6 possible teams: Juventus Utena, Kapfenberg Bulls, Brose Bamberg, Kalev Cramo, Sporting, and Mornar Bar. And from qualification round tournament 4, we will have potentially Hapoel Eilat, Parma Par, Le Mans, Prometei, Levski Lukoil, and Opava. I managed to get through this, but mostly I hope the 24 teams managed to get through this very, very competitive qualification round tournament. So we are now ready to proceed with the draw for the regular season, having found out the possible path for the 24 teams in the qualification round. After 8 months of competition, this will lead to the pinnacle event of the Basketball Champions League, that is the Final Four. Good opportunity for me to take a break and for all of us to remember what happened in the last edition of our season-ending tournament, which took place a few weeks ago in Russia, in Nizhny Novgorod. Thank you.
A huge celebration here, and probably an even more massive celebration in Burgos in Spain. Congratulations to them.
To Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. This is the Basketball Champions League Final 8. The pass, the throwdown right at the end. Ruban again comes in and makes the play. Look at that. Salim looked like he kind of slipped and gets to the drop. Terrific. Oh, goodness me. he okay? Great pass by Ennis, this time to Brasino. This is the Basketball Champions League final 8, and this is the final between Pino Carciaca and Paredes and Pablo Burgos.
Nice memories from an event that also allowed us to enjoy the presence of local fans in the arena, which does make all the difference. We can now move to the draw procedure for the regular season. All the teams have been split into 4 pots based on the BCL club and country rankings. We will start with pot 4, as this includes the teams coming from the qualification round, representing 6 potential teams for each tournament, coming from 24 different countries. This way, we can ensure that the computer will apply the country protection starting from the most complex pot. These teams are placed into pot 4, and they are labeled as QRT winner 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then, we will continue with the draw by selecting teams from pots 1, 2, and 3. The team drawn will be evenly split into 8 groups, respecting the country protection principle, whereby no teams from the same country may face each other at this stage of the competition. This is where the computer will identify the next available group for each team to be placed and fill up the regular season groupings. So let's begin by introducing which teams are in pot 4 in front of Zach here. They are Stal Ostro from Poland, Ewe Baskets Oldenburg from Germany, Igokea from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Lavrio Megabolt from Greece. In addition, we will have 4 balls labeled QRT, winner QRT 1, winner QRT 2, 3, and 4. So we are ready to begin. Let's shuffle well, Zach. We already have the 8 groups labeled A through H. At this stage, there should not be any surprises. Each team drawn will be placed into the next available group, which should work in alphabetical order. But it is an important part. This is not so much a draw, but it is a placement. So, first team is the winner of QRT4. So that would be one of Hapoel Eilat, Parma Perm, Le Mans, Prometei, Levski Lukoil, or Opava, and they go into Group A. We can already see them taking up the position 4 into Group A. Let's continue. Again, this is not so much of a draw selecting opponents as it is placing the teams in pot 4 in their respective groups. Next team is Stal Ostro, a newcomer to our competition. They're coming, of course, as Polish champions, and they will go into Group B. Let's continue, Zach. The next team drawn from pot 4 will be Lavrio Megabolt from Greece, a newcomer into the Basketball Champions League, runners-up in Greece, one of the surprises in European leagues, making it to the final where they faced Panathinaikos. Group C for Lavrio Megabolt. We continue to see which team will be placed into Group D. Well, it will not be one team, but potentially 6 teams coming out of qualification round tournament 2. So one of DeLonghi Treviso, London Lions, Bakken Bears, Leiden, Belfus Monzeno, or Smoky Minsk, and they go into Group D. D. Let's continue. We're halfway into pot 4. The next team drawn is Igokea. They're coming to us in their 3rd participation into the Basketball Champions League, 7 times champion of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they go into Group E. Let's continue, Zach, with the next ball from pot 4. And it is the winner of qualification round tournament 3. So one of Juventus Utena, Kapfenberg Bulls, Brose Bamberg, Kalef Kramo, Sporting or Mornar Bar, and they will go into Group F. 2 balls left. It is another winner of qualification round tournament. This one, qualification round tournament 1. So one of Salon Vilpas, Cluj-Napoca, Peristeri, Split, AEK Larnaca, or Fribourg Olympique, and they go into Group G. Last but not least should be our good friends from Oldenburg. Indeed, Eve Baskets returning to the Basketball Champions League. They've been with us the first 2 seasons of the competition. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this stage of the draw with Eve Baskets going into Group H. So we now have placed all the teams from pot 4 into their respective groups. And we are ready to proceed now, starting from pot 1 in front of Michel. Now we're actually entering the fun part of the draw. In pot 1, we have AEK from Greece, Era Nimburg from the Czech Republic, Hapoel Jerusalem from Israel, Hapoel Unet-Credit Holon from Israel as well, Lenovo Tenerife from Spain, Nizhny Novgorod from Russia, San Pablo Burgos from Spain, and SIG Strasbourg from France. So, Michel, you will shuffle well from pot 1, and let's find out the first team, always keeping in mind the principles that we have already referred to. First team drawn is Hapoel Jerusalem from Israel, their 4th participation into the Basketball Champions League, 2 times champion of Israel. They cannot go into Group A because potentially Hapoel Eilat, coming out of qualification round tournament 4, could be placed in Group A. So first available group for Hapoel Jerusalem is Group B. So they are placed in the top position of Group B. So we see exactly how the computer is assisting us in defining the next available group. So Michel, next team drawn. It is Lenovo Tenerife from Spain, 6th participation for Tenerife. They've been with us every single year, of course, winning the inaugural Basketball Champions League, then going on to win 2 times the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, and they go to the next available group, which is Group A for Lenovo Tenerife. Let's continue, Michel. Next team drawn is Nizhny Novgorod from Russia, our host to the recent Final 8 in early May. 5th participation for Nizhny Novgorod, and they are placed into Group C. Let's continue. Next team drawn is AEK from Greece, another club that has been with us every single year of the competition, winning, of course, the Basketball Champions League in 2018, and then as well going on to win the Intercontinental Cup, and they are placed into Group D. Let's continue. Next team drawn is Era Nymburk from the Czech Republic, another loyal participant to the Basketball Champions League, the eternal champions of the Czech Republic. They just won their 17th championship in a row, participants to the last two editions of the Basketball Champions League Final 8, and they enter into Group E. Let's continue. Please, Michel. Next team drawn is SIG Strasbourg from France. They have been with us also 6 seasons, and they made it to the Final 8 in Nizhny Novgorod, where they finished in 4th place, and they will join Group F. Let's continue. Next team is Hapoel Holon from Israel, another participant to the recent Final 8 in Nizhny Novgorod, in their 4th participation to the Basketball Champions League, and they are placed into Group G. Last but not least, it was probably deemed to keep our current champions for last, San Pablo Burgos, in their 3rd participation into the Basketball Champions League, returning champions and back-to-back champions in the Basketball Champions League, and they join Group H. So this has now taken care of pot 1. We will revert back to Zachary here in pot 2 and figure out the next stages of the draw. First, reminding ourselves which teams are in pot 2. Besiktas Ikripex from Turkey, Dinamo Sassari from Italy, Falco Sombatelli from Hungary, Filwo Stende from Belgium, Happy Casa Brindisi from Italy, GDA Dijon from France, PAOK from Greece, and Pinar Karşıyaka from Turkey. So Zach, let's shuffle well and find out the first team drawn out of pot 2. First team is Dinamo Sassari, our friends from the island, in their 5th participation into the Basketball Champions League, of course, champions of Italy a few years ago in 2015, and they join Group A with Lenovo Tenerife. Some memories from last season, if I recall, Tenerife and Sassari were also in the same group together in the regular season. Let's continue. Next team drawn is Pinar Karşıyaka from Turkey, 4th participation into the Basketball Champions League, but of course, very important achievement, reaching the final in Nizhny Novgorod and a 3rd place finish in Turkey this year. Quite a season for Pinar Karşıyaka that enters into Group B. Let's continue. Zach, please, with the next team drawn. It is PAOK from Greece, 5th participation for PAOK, a team that has already won 2 European trophies, Korac and Saporta, and PAOK jumps into Group E. Obviously, the fact that Lavrio and AEK are in Groups C and D make it impossible for PAOK to go into those groups, and therefore the computer very wisely puts PAOK into Group E. Let's continue, Zach. GDA Dijon from France, runners-up this year in the French Championship, and an important accomplishment last October in Athens in the Final 8, finishing in 3rd place, and they are placed into Group C. Let's continue. Next team is Falco Sombatelli from Hungary, 3rd participation into the Basketball Champions League. They come to us as champions, 3rd championship for Falco Sombatelli. They go into Group D. Let's continue. Next team drawn is Filou Ostende, another, I would say, eternal champion coming to us from Belgium. They have won the last 10 league titles in a row and have been with us every single season of our short history. They go into Group F. Two teams left. It is Happy Casa Brindisi from Italy in their third participation into our competition, having finished in third place in Italy this season. And they go into Group G. I will join you closer, Zachary, because there's a big reflection on the screen. So you will move a little bit to the left, and then we keep all the COVID protocols in place. So last team drawn. Zach, please. No, it's two teams drawn, sorry. No, it's last team drawn. I see the screens. So it is Beşiktaş Ikripex from Turkey in their fifth participation into the Basketball Champions League, having finished in fourth place this season, and they join Group H. So this has now taken care of pot 2 as well, and we are ready to move into pot 3 in front of Michael, and I will make my way a little bit more to the left so I can see the screens. So we are now ready to move into pot 3 in front of Michel. They are Baxi Manresa from Spain, Darüşşafaka Tekfen from Turkey, Galatasaray from Turkey, MHP Riesen from Germany, Ritas Vilnius from Lithuania, Tofas Bursa from Turkey, Unicaja Malaga from Spain, and VEF Riga from Latvia. And we are ready, Michel, shuffle well, and let's find out the last part of this draw. It is Baxi Manresa from Spain, their second participation to the Basketball Champions League. They were with us in the regular season 2019-2020, and they will join Group B for Baxi Manresa, which concludes our first group for this regular season draw. Obviously, Manresa could not go into Group A because another Spanish team, Lenovo Tenerife, was already there. So Group B is now completed, consisting of Hapoel Jerusalem, Pinar Karşıyaka, Baxi Manresa, and Stal Ostro. We are ready for the next team to be drawn. It is Unicaja Malaga, another newcomer into our competition, obviously an illustrious history for Malaga in both Europe and Spain. Also, they cannot go into Group A because of another Spanish team, so they join Group C, which now consists of Nizhny Novgorod, GDA Dijon, Unicaja Malaga, and Lavrio Megavolt. We are ready to continue with the next team from pot 3. It is MHP Riesen from Germany, fourth participation into the Basketball Champions League, biggest achievement, having reached the Final Four in 2018 in Athens, and they join Group A along with Lenovo Tenerife, Dinamo Sassari, and then a team of Hapoel Eilat, Parma Perm, Le Mans, Prometei, Levski Lukoil, or Opava. Let's continue. I think we are ready for the next team, Michel. It is VEF Riga from Latvia. They're coming to us as champions of Latvia, 8 times having won the domestic league title, third participation for VEF Riga, and that completes Group D, which consists of AEK, Falco Sombatelli, VEF Riga, and one of the Longhi Treviso, London Lions, Bakken Bears, Leiden, Belfus-Monzeno, and Smoky Minsk. So Group D is also completed. We are halfway into completing our groups. Let's move on to pot 3. Next team drawn is Galatasaray. Second participation for Galata into the Basketball Champions League. 16-time champions of the Basketball Champions League, of the domestic title. And they join Group E, which is now concluded, consisting of Era Nymburk, PAOK, Galatasaray, and Igokea. Let's continue, Michel. Next team drawn is Rytas Vilnius from Lithuania. They're coming to us as runners-up to this year's championship in Lithuania, having, of course, won the domestic league title 5 times, and computer places them into Group H, which now completes this group as well. San Pablo Burgos, Besiktas, Rytas Vilnius, and EVE Baskets Oldenburg in Group H. 2 teams left, Michel, to complete this procedure. Next is Tofaş Bursa from Turkey, their second participation for the 2 times Turkish champion, and they join Group F, which is now completed, consisting of SIG Strasbourg, Phil Ostende, Tofaş Bursa, and one of Juventus Utena, Kapfenberg Bulls, Brose Bamberg, Kalef Kramo, Sporting, and Mornar Bar. Last, but certainly not least, it is Darüşşafaka Tekfen, another Turkish team, 2 times champion of Turkey. They join Group G, which is also complete, consisting of Hapoel Holon, Hapikaza Brindisi, Darüşşafaka, and one of Salon Vilpas, Cluj-Napoca, Peristeri, Split, AEK Larnaca, and Fribourg Olympique. This, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the draw for the regular season. Let me firstly thank Michel and Jacques, very appreciative of your help, and wish you the best of luck in your basketball careers. Finally, I also wish the best of luck to all the teams, and I now welcome Chris back on stage for his closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you also. Big round of applause, Patrick. Thank you. And also continued success, of course, to our young athletes. And also thank you very much for joining us here. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did. Also, a big thank you to our participants who joined us via the live stream. And let me wish the best of luck, of course, to all 52 teams that will participate in the upcoming 21-22 Basketball Champions League season. Everybody, stay safe. Hope to see you again next time. And good luck, everybody. Thank you.